Okay, so we're up to the next part of continuous random variables, and we're going to look at mean, median, and modes. And the first formula is the mean. Okay, so okay, that's the symbol for mean. Now, when we did discrete data, just to remind you, when we had x and probability of x, like we had 2, 3, 4, 5. Just to remind you, like we had like maybe a quarter, you know, an eighth, etc. And to find the mean, we were adding the numbers, we were multiplying and adding. So we were doing that process. So that's what we're doing in this process as well. We're going to take the number and we're going to multiply by its probability. Okay, so it's the same sort of setup, and we're going to integrate between A and B. Just to remind you again, like these sort of ones, you know, we've got areas. Okay, so in the median, what we're trying to do is work out that both areas equal a half. So the integration is an area, and the median will be when the areas equal a half each. Okay, so that's that idea. And the mode is the value of x where it's at its maximum. So for instance here, that's the highest point, and so then you look down for the score that happens at the highest point. So there's three different things. So we'll have practice on some of these as well, obviously. So copy that and come across when you're ready. Okay, so let's have a look at an example. We don't need to sketch it. If you wanted to, okay, we could sketch it. Okay, fx, x, it's defined between 0 and 1. And so 2 times 1 equals 2. So obviously that area is 1 unit squared. Okay, it's going up like that, and then dropping down, and then 0 elsewhere. Okay, technically I suppose it could be backwards as well, but not critical. Okay, so to find the mean, we're going to do this x times fx between 0 and 1, because that's the numbers that it's defined for. So u equals, okay, so x times 2x is 2x squared. So we're doing that x times fx, where fx is 2x. So integral of 2x squared is 2x3 over 3 between 1 and 0. So we can take the 2/3 out, and we've got, so the 2/3 is out, so I've got 1 cubed minus 0 cubed. So the answer is just 2/3. So the mean value is 2/3. Okay. To find the median, we're looking for just the area under 2x to be a half, and we just don't know what we're trying to do is find out that number, so that that's a half and that's a half. So first thing we do is we integrate. So integral of 2x is x squared on 2 between some number and 0, and that equals a half. So we can take the half out the front, and then we've got, so the half's gone out the front, so we've got m squared minus 0 squared equals a half. Divide both sides by a half, so we get m squared equals 1. So m equals plus or minus the square root of 1, which is plus or minus 1, but it equals 1. Just hang on a sec. Okay, just come back live. I've made a mistake. So that's 2x squared there. So 2 times. So there isn't a value of a half there. So my mistake. In case those people are getting cross in video land. Okay, so I forgot 2x squared just turns into 2x squared over 2, which is just x squared. So there was no half. So I get m squared equals a half. M equals plus or minus a half, which is plus or minus 1 on root 2. And we can't have the negative, it's just the positive. Okay, so that's going to be the median. And the mode, okay, that's the highest point. So the mode, so for part 3, the mode is 1. The mode is the score that occurs the most. That's the highest point on the graph. Okay, that's the highest point. So the score is 1. So that's the mode. So sorry about that mistake in there. So hopefully that hasn't upset you too much. Okay, moving on. Okay, so just looking at a couple of other measures. So we've got this variance and standard deviation again. So it's the same formula that we had previously. Variance equals ex squared minus ex all squared. And ex squared, that's just the average, which is what we've been doing already in this video. And ex squared just means put x squared out the front of fx and then integrate. And then finally, the standard deviation is just the square root of the variance. So next example we'll be looking at that. So copy across when you're ready. Okay, so find the variance and standard deviation for the following blah 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 blah. Okay, so ex squared will be the integral from 1 to 2 of x squared x minus a half dx. So we've got a bit of maths to do. 1, 2, we've got x cubed minus x squared on 2 dx. So now we can integrate. So we've got x4 on 4 minus x cubed over 6. Okay, when you bring add 1 to the power and you're going to multiply by that, gives you 6. 2 to 1. So now we put the numbers in. So 2 to the 4 over 4 minus 2 cubed over 6 minus 1 to the 4 over 4 minus 1 cubed over 6. So now just use your calculator. I'll get my calculator off my desk. Alright, turn the calculator on. I'm just doing minus 8 divided by 6 minus 1 divided by 4 plus 1 divided by 6. So when I did that, I get a decimal. There's obviously a fraction equivalent, but 2.58 is ex squared, and now we've got to work out what ex is. So that's 1 to 2 of x bracket x minus a half. So 1, 2 x squared minus x over 2 dx. Now we can integrate, so we've got x cubed on 3 minus x squared over 4. Because you add 1 to the power, divide, and you could already got a 2 there. So now we do our substitution. 2 cubed on 3 minus 2 squared on 4 minus 1 cubed on 3 minus 1 squared on 4. And now use your calculator. So 8 divided by 3 minus 1 minus 1 divided by 3 plus 1 divided by 4. So I get 1.58. Okay, let's move up a bit. So the variance will be 2.58 minus 1.58 squared. 2.58 minus 1.58 squared. It's very small. Oh well. And then the standard deviation equals the square root of that. Square root answer equals, so I get 0.2891. So those numbers are small, but unless I've made an arithmetic error, they're the answers. But the steps are the main thing. Okay, copy that and come across. Okay, so exercise 12C, page 597 onwards. Do a variety of questions, and we should be done. Okay, thanks, bye.